Hello everybody, it's Crafty Kim 62 here, and this is a quick page builder for your mini albums that we are doing on the group of Simply Craft and Swap. So this is the one that I've made up, and we'll be doing this throughout the course of the year. And we've built our book up with the mini dies and the pages, and we're going to be decorating the pages and doing the various other things, but this is the page that we're going to concentrate on today. So it is a simple page where you can put a photograph in your writing or your secret writing, and it's just a tuck-in page on there. So that is the page with the tuck-in. You can put more embellishments on there, and on the card I've done the front, and it's got little pearls, gems in the sweet pea. This is a sweet pea design. So this is what we're aiming for. Now I do make my book up first, and then I do the pages as I go along. I usually stick to one paper pad all the way through, and I use 12 by 12 so I can use the cut-offs from the paper as embellishments as we go along. So that is what we're going to be working towards, and you've seen that, so we will. And this is the paper pad that I've used. I've already made two memory books from this. One was a 40th school reunion that I made for the organiser, and she absolutely loved it. So this is Craft Consortium, and it's their Eastern influences. So you can see that it's quite bright, it's purples and reds, very rich with oranges. And I keep all of the bits that I haven't used, and we will do things. I did make something too big, so all I did was use it and cut it, and that's going to be a frame later on. All of these little bits, you can use all of your letter dies, so they'll be your letter dies. And as you can see, I've cut into them, but I don't throw anything away, and everything is there ready to use. So that is the Craft Consortium, and it's Eastern influences that I'm using for this project. I also used some good old-fashioned basil paper and card, so that is the colour that I've chosen, and I'll show you that in a moment. So the next thing, this is the one that I used to build the album with, together with this spine, and I used the various parts in there, and where it is the page, I just simply cut it off to make it a straight line rather than have a page. So that was the tonic, and that was number 2 album that they brought out. Next I used the sweet pea, and it's a Craft a Card lacy sweet pea, and this worked quite well because it is a card creator, so you can do 2 different cards. You can do a plain one with just the outer edge, and this one actually has the cutting edge, and you can see it's quite a long strip. It is quite a big one. It's the full size of your A4 cutting machine plates. I'm just putting these back, and then I use the inner one which cuts into the paper, and the outer one to cut it out, so those two marry up. So I'll just pop them back. So that's what I've used in the dies and the papers. So I make the page up as I go along. I don't have the page and then build on the page in the book. I always keep it separate until I'm happy with what I'm doing. Normally I would gut that, but just for quickness You can see this one is one of the pages. Can you see the perforated edges? So all I did was, this one cuts, but this one leaves quite whatever length of paper you want. So all you do is just cut in a straight line along the dots, and then you have another matting layer. So I'm just going to use my glue to put this one down, because I've already decided what design of the page that I'm going to have. So that is the first layer down, and this is the second layer, and it's a little bit shorter than because I've made a matting layer. So on this one, I think that one's too bright, but the more of the purples in that one, it looks much better. So you can see that it's going to have 3 layers and then 4 layers with the book itself, the page. So on this one, I'm actually going to use foam pads so I can make a pocket for the card. So keeping away from the sides, so I can if you just bear with me. That one's come off already. I'm using Hunky Dory foam pads. I quite like these because of the bigger size ones. I ordered the large ones because I like the bigger sizes for myself. So I'm just going to check that it fits inside, and I'm going to move these ones over, so bear with me. It's not going to matter if I've made a mess of those, because that's the inside. So if you just bear with me one moment. And I'm just going to get my anti-static bag, because obviously that may still be sticky. So I'm just going to pounce a bit of anti-static on, just in case. So again, that's another mistake that I've made that you can all learn from. So I'm just going to make these smaller on this side. That's fine. And I think just for safety, I'm just going to run a little bit of glue along there. So up to the edge. And again, some slivers. I'm not going to put it in the corner, but I'm just going to put it down the bottom. Just there. And that one can go at the top. I'm quite happy with that. Don't waste anything, so put it back. And then just simply take off the tops of your foam pads. and then line that up with equal sides. I'm just going to double check that it will fit inside. I'm just going to trim off some of the frilly bits, but it will still have enough frilly bits to fit into the card, and as I go along all of them will be the same, so that will now fit in comfortably. So next we have the just saw a little piece there, and with this one I am going to put it onto my hand. Because it is rather delicate and the edges, the frame is rather delicate too. So I'm just going to use my hand. It's a glue that I've used for years, so I'm quite happy in doing that. But if you're going to do it, make sure you do a test patch, because all glue is not the same and you may have a reaction, but I'm fine with it. So I'm just going to roll that down, and what we can do is just add a little bit on the corner and then catch any ones that you've missed, and that's rather than bending your die cut and getting ink all over the place, you can just catch any ones that you've missed. Now I turned the paper over because it was a darker purple, and I was going to put the embellishments on, but you can see that the tone isn't dark enough for a distinguishing embellishment, so that it's just got lost. So what I do is I keep and make extra die cuts and keep them all stored in a filing system, and that I have them all categorized. So this one is birds and wings and feathers and cages. So this one is the one that I pulled out all of the silver flowers. There's mats and layers and borders. So I keep everything all sorted into bags and then sorted into the concertina file, and then the concertina file is has words and phrases, happy birthday, mats and layers, embossed card that I've made extra for. Everything is of a sizable use. I try not to keep anything that is not the same, that I can't use very well. So I'm going to add some of these, and I'm not quite sure about that one. That one's too big, so I may do a layering one. Yes, I think I'll do a layering one, and there's some leaves that I'll pop underneath as well, so I'll keep those. And it doesn't matter what make that you use, it really doesn't matter. If you just have a scrap bag of all of your die cuts. So this was an extra frame, and that's a rose, so I could put the rose on there and decoupage it with the other one, but I'll keep that one for something else. So there are my leaves and the flowers. I'm just going to give them a little bit of shape. So I use the Heartfelt Creations, and it's the Deluxe Flower Shaping Kit, and that is quite handy. I do like using that, and that's around all of the time. So I'm starting, and I use the 12mm ball and the 6mm ball. That's what I use for my flowers. So starting halfway down, I'm just going to indent them a little bit, turn them over, give them a little squiggle, and carry on with all of them so that they're all done. Another little squiggle. The next one, I'll just put them all on so it's easier. You don't have to do too much. You only want, with the Beanie album, you've got a centimetre gap in between each page, so you really don't want anything that's going to be too cumbersome and spoils the opening of the book, so that the album looks bulky and you can't close it after you've done all of your embellishments. So think about that when you are doing your embellishments. You could have punches that you could use. So I'm now going to move over to the firmer, and I'm just going to squish it down, give it a little bit of a twiddle. I'm going to put some glue in there. I'm going to let it rest for a moment, put my big ball 2 in again, bring that one back, offset the leaves. One of these is a daisy and the other one is part of a poinsettia, but they still look good. A little bit of glue in there. Onto my next one, and again a nice big push into that one. Twiddle the leaves around again of the petals to make the flower more bushy. One more of those ones, so we'll squish it in, twiddle it around, and it soon comes up. Forgot to put the glue in that one, so put that one in. So we're going to get a nice flower that's not going to be too wide for the pages in the album. So that's the last one going in. Offset that one too, and then hold it in. I'll just twiddle it about for a little bit. And I'm going to put it on here. I'm just going to take the card out. Just going to place that on there, and then the underneath. Some wet glue as well. Put it on there. Just hold it and squish it just a little bit. This is the softer mat, this is the firmer mat. So I'm just going to let that settle, and then add the leaves. I've got some curly leaves. I'm just going to add this. So spots of glue, you don't need much. I'll have that one going that way. And I don't think we'll use that big one. We'll keep to the smaller ones. So just some glue. Just to keep everything in place. And we'll have that one just coming down there. So that one can go back into the pile, ready for the next time. So that is it there. Just move these out of the way. And I think this one is called Bonnie Blue. That's Earl Grey. I don't think that one matches, but I think that one's a nice tone. to that one, so I'm just going to put a blob in the centre. These are Nuvo drops and these are the vintage colours. So that will settle, and that will be the embellishment in the middle once it's dry. So once the page is made and ready to go, I then add that to the album page itself. So that is going to go onto the page, and then photographs. The card's light enough to do your journaling, your memories, and you could actually put something on there as well. If you had a sentiment, a word, a date, you could put that on there, or you could add another embellishment that's more flat. So I'll just show you on the side how it's not too thick, so that it'll spoil the opening and closing of your album pages. So I hope you like that simple idea. If you don't have any of the dies, you can use your essential dies, and then perhaps use, if you've got a punch with the corner punch, this one is a crocodile, and this is the 1/4 inch and the 1/2 inch rounded. But even if you've got a circle punch and you want to have a similar effect, what you can do is, I do this quite often when what I've got isn't the right size, you just turn it over and use it from the back, and then you can cut a corner out, and then you have your shape. So if you've got corner punches, if you've got dies where you want to do it, and of course you can eyeball it if you're brave enough to do that. I think that's it for this page. Many thanks for watching. It's Crafty Kim saying goodbye. Goodbye.